When probed on specifics, the Employment and Labour Relations Minister-nominee Ignatius Baffour Awuah said he would make the relevant figures available to the vetting committee. Concerns were raised also by the committee on discrepancies between the figures he gave and what was contained in his handing over notes. The handing over notes indicated that 2.7 million jobs were created, with 2.3 million jobs being under the Planting for Food and Jobs program and 350,000 jobs in the public sector being highlighted. But Mr. Awuah explained that the handing over notes were prepared in June in line with the Transitional Provisions Act. On how the ministry arrives at its figures, Mr. Awuah said his outfit collates data from various sectors under the state to record employment figures under the public sector. But in an interview with City Business News, Labour analyst Senyor Ajabeng said the seeming disagreement over the figures points to the need for an independent body to provide reliable, regular and nuanced data in a transparent manner.
I think the issue is with transparency about the source of the data. And if the data was available, then it could have been interrogated. But thankfully, the data is going to be provided. The problem is that if the data is so consolidated and it is not demystified, the data is not transparent, and the data is not detailed and categorized, declassified, for example, it will be very difficult for anyone to know, and like I said earlier, anyone to know the categories and the specifics of where the jobs are coming from, what types of jobs they are, for example, and which sectors those jobs came from. And then again, I mentioned that data can be interrogated, for example, to know whether these are replaced jobs or job replacement, or they are actually new jobs that have been created through economic interventions and other interventions. So it's important for the data to come from an independent, credible source. Then, and also the transparency about the type of data, how it was collected, who collected it, how it's reported. All of those ones are very important. And so the word then would be transparency. So data must be transparent such that all stakeholders can make their own inferences and come to the same conclusion about what the data is trying to tell everybody.
On his part, economist Patrick Isuming said it is critical that government makes the needed investment in solving the issue of a lack of reliable data, which will allow for monitoring and the tracking of progress.
It's as critical as our seriousness about solving the problem. If you cannot solve a problem when you don't have a full understanding of what the problem is. So if we are really serious about addressing the fundamentally the unemployment problem, maybe we would have invested in that. Take a country like the US. They generate job reports every month. And through that, they're able to get better understanding of the unemployment spells, durations, different aspects of the unemployment. And, they put a lot of research into this. So it's easier for them to address the issue. If we say we are serious about solving the unemployment problem and we are not willing to invest to get a good handle on it, or to even track our progress. How well are we doing? Which areas are we doing better? Then it's difficult to understand whether we are really serious about solving the problem.